Let's jump right in. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unpack what is arguably the critical survival skill for the modern era, financial literacy. It's actually incredibly ironic, right? We live in some of the wealthiest countries in the world, yet so many of us are just constantly struggling with money problems. You can work hard your entire life, do everything right, and still retire poor. Well, using the principles from Saving Your Future, we're going to break down exactly why this is happening, and more importantly, how we can fix it. So, let's get started.
Section 1. The Modern Financial Crisis, a Reality Check.
Okay, let's look at the hard reality here. A staggering 79% of Americans currently feel financial stress. That's almost 8 out of 10 people. So if you're feeling that pressure right now, believe me, you're absolutely not alone. This is a widespread epidemic. The data shows that more than half the country is living paycheck to paycheck, and a really alarming 27% can't even pay their bills on time. We see this all around us. It hits our own families and our friends' families. This isn't just an individual failure, it's a massive systemic issue. And that underlying stress, it translates directly into our daily habits. A massive 62% of Americans carry credit card debt. But honestly, it's actually even worse than it looks on the surface, because 37% have completely maxed out their credit limits. Think about that. We are swiping these cards every single day, yet very few of us actually understand all the hidden charges and compounding interest attached to them.
Now, this isn't just an American problem. The picture of North and Canada is just as gloomy. Get this, 1 in 4 Canadians is forced to borrow money simply to buy food or cover basic daily expenses, literally just to get by because they completely run out of cash. On top of that, 17% don't make enough to cover their monthly expenses. And perhaps the scariest part for the long term, 32% aren't saving for retirement at all.
Section 2. Shattering the Old Dream.
To truly understand this crisis, we have to step back and look at how the fundamental rules of money just completely changed right underneath us. After World War II, the dream was pretty simple and frankly comfortable. You get a good degree, find a secure job, and trust your union, your company, or the government to take care of your pension. Passive dependence was totally the norm. But by the 1980s and 90s, everything shifted. Credit became incredibly accessible. We basically traded that post-war comfort for a dangerous new mantra, spend now, pay later. And as a result, consumer debt just absolutely skyrocketed.
Living with heavy debt unfortunately became the new normal, basically trapping people in this endless lifetime cycle. I mean, it usually starts with student loans, right? We raise our kids to finish college, but they graduate already buried in debt. To stay afloat, they lean on credit cards. Then come the car loans, and eventually massive, heavy mortgages. It turned into a continuous pipeline of debt from graduation straight through to old age. Debt literally just became a way of life.
Section 3. An era of turbulence.
Now, as if navigating a lifetime of debt wasn't hard enough, the new millennium ushered in a relentless series of rapid-fire economic shocks. In 2000, the dot-com bubble burst, sending the stock market into freefall. Just a year later, the September 11th tragedy introduced a whole new era of short-term market volatility. Then, by 2008, the subprime mortgage crisis triggered the Great Recession. And, just as we finally recovered from that, 2020 brought the global pandemic. The economic impact here is profound. Millions of people suffered massive losses in employment, savings, home values, and retirement accounts. We've basically been forced to navigate this incredibly volatile, rapidly changing financial landscape.
Section 4. The Generational Struggle.
In this chaotic new landscape, it is squeezing absolutely everyone, no matter what generation you belong to. Take the baby boomers. 10,000 of them turn 65 every single day, yet many are completely unprepared for retirement. Meanwhile, Generation X is literally sandwiched. They're trying to raise their kids while simultaneously supporting aging parents, all while battling rising bills. And then you have millennials, who face a hyper-competitive global labor market and the constant, looming threat of rapid job automation.
Section 5. The New Awakening. Taking Control.
But there is a silver lining to all this generational turbulence. It's sparking a new awakening. People are realizing they have to proactively rebuild their financial foundation. And that starts with facing one hard truth. Nobody teaches us how to manage our money in school. Think about it. Financial issues are rarely discussed in the classroom. Most people struggle just to balance a basic checkbook or read a financial statement. We might be highly active spenders, but we've remained entirely passive savers, simply because we don't know what we don't know.
Without that foundational education, we are left to navigate a murky financial jungle. We're bombarded by confusing financial news, tangled up in thousands of stocks and funds, and lost in complex rules and regulations. So what happens? We blindly pay hidden credit card charges, we buy insurance policies that we just stuff into a drawer and forget about, or we fund retirement accounts while crossing our fingers, just hoping that someone else will magically manage our money for us.
That passive habit is exactly what keeps us trapped. So here is the crucial takeaway. Financial literacy isn't just a nice-to-have option anymore. It is the absolute prerequisite to entering the gate of financial knowledge. It's the essential first step to understanding how money actually works, so you can proactively build a secure foundation for your family. The old days of passive dependence have to end. A new era of proactivism has to begin. And the incredible thing is, once you step through that gate, you realize it's completely doable. It's really just common language for common people.
Which brings us to one final, absolutely critical question. Since we've clearly seen that the government isn't going to swoop in and save you, and your employer certainly isn't either, you have to honestly ask yourself, who's actually taking care of your financial future? Because at the end of the day, nobody is more interested in your success than you are. The gate to financial freedom is open, but are you ready to take that first step to learn the rules? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks your curiosity to start taking control of your financial future today.